Hello and welcome to Lego Worlds. Now guys, we are going to build a Lego city, and after my last couple of attempts, okay, once we got the hang of it, we got that house built, that really tiny little house. But this time I want to step it up. I want us to actually make it, and basically when I jumped into my last world, I put a couple of models down, tried to undo it, and all of a sudden it was like I was in the Matrix. All of these characters started literally splitting from each other. There was in the end about 20 or 30 of them, one of the guy, one of the woman, straight out of the Creator series, and the cars just kept piling up, and it was like Anderson coming for Neo. So every time I spawned it back up, these pile of cars would just carry on going. I thought, okay, time to quit that one. So basically guys, we're going to start on a modern house. Now I don't know how well this series will take off, so it depends how much you actually like it, but it takes a little bit of the stress out of it for me, so I don't really have to work out everything, as I can just read through my book and do it as we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab myself, well, I'm going to change the colour to black, and then I'm going to grab myself two 16 by 16 sheets. So 2 plates of 16 by 16, and like all good builds, we're going to start on the garage. So we're going to go 1 and 2. Then we're going to head over to back to our bricks and hit the flat tiles. I'm going to go for a 1 by 8, but we're going to change the colour over to a medium stone grey. Now guys, I'm only doing this so quick at the moment because I've already been through just checking over whether these were actually going to fit, or what sort of blocks. Now obviously somewhere through the build we're going to be like, oh, we haven't got that block, or we haven't got that window, or we haven't got that. But what we do is we'll leave it at that point and hope it doesn't cause too much of a hassle, and obviously have to improvise if it does come to that. Hopefully it won't, but it would be silly for me to say it won't happen. So anyway, we're going to step in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th we're going to place our sheets that we've just picked up. I'm going to place 1, 2 next to each other, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th one from our first block we're going to place another 2 just like that. Then right in front of them we're going to place 1 right in front of each, so like that. Then we're going to spin this round and leave in 1 out on the edge there, so we've basically got this shape. We're just going to do that, go back to our blocks, and then find our small flat tile 1 by 2, so it sticks out 1 over the other edge. So I'm going to go back into our blocks, and I'm going to go find our 1 by 1 wedge, and then we're going to change the colour, not to black but dark stone grey, and we're going to place that one right on the edge of each side. So 1 on each side just like that. Then we're going to go back to our colours and pick out medium nugget, and we're going to go back to our blocks, and this time we're going to be using our actual blocks, but we're just going to pick out a 1 by 3. Now this is where time's going to get slow, and it obviously is, because have you ever tried picking up Lego, but with this it's going to be that little bit more, because obviously we're trying to work it out and make sure we don't get the sizes wrong. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In fact, we can just go all the way across until we've got a gap of 2 on the end. So like that. So we've literally got 1, 2, and then we're going to swap down to a 2 block. But for me, I just have to keep remembering not to pick the other smaller blocks. They look like 2 blocks, but they're actually not. And then we're going to switch across. We're going to grab ourselves a lot longer one. I think it's going to be about a 10. So we'll check out the 10 first. We're going to place that right there on the other side. And then we're going to spin it round. And we're going to attach it to the end there. And I think that will leave us with a 4. So our 4 can go right in next to that. So now when I was doing this, I thought, could we just get away with doing it as smaller blocks? So basically, if I just took this 2-piece block, why couldn't I just travel up as high as I know it goes and then be done with it just like that? But realistically, you won't have the block colors or the brick effect. So I thought, let's just follow the book, why not? You know, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what the reception is on it. So anyway, guys, I've grabbed a 2-block and I've put one on each corner on the way down. Now this is where we have to make our first block that we're just gonna have to make. So we're gonna place one on each corner over the other side. So that'll be all 4 corners. Then we're gonna drop down to a single block and place it right next to these back 2. So just like that. Then we're going to go up until we come across a block that can fill this gap. This one, so it's 2, 4, so it's an 8 block. So we've got an 8 block there. As we spin round, we know we only need a 3 for our edges here. So we're going to place a 3 straight in there. Then for this side, we're just going to go up until we fill that block, so it'll probably be another 10. Chuck that in. And then what we're going to need to do is, while we're on this level, because it's easier to just follow the book in all ways, we're going to go back to a medium stone grey and we're going to go find ourselves our round brick, and we're just going to place 1, 2 on top of each other. Now they will be higher, but obviously it's easier for me if we just follow the book, so that way I'm not skipping pieces. Now there is another piece that goes here, just a flat piece, but I haven't included it just yet. In fact, it isn't a flat piece, and we do have it. So it's just actually one of these, and we can place that down literally just on the end of the block. So basically one part on the circle brick and one on the wall, and it just goes there like that. So just making sure we haven't missed anything, we can now go a page ahead and we want to go back to our normal blocks. And before we do, we may as well get our circle back out and just place one straight on top there, because we know it's going to go there, and we can go ahead and place the 4th one as well. Then we want to go back to our normal blocks and we want a 3 and a 2 for our side over here. So basically we're going to alter them every time, so we can go ahead and place the other 3rd on this side just up like that. And we didn't change the color, so I best take them away for a second before we get lost, because trying to color them afterwards is really not the way to go. I learnt my lesson on that one. So we're going to place one on the outside corner, and then we're going to go across to just fill that gap like that. Then we're going to go down and find our 2 block, and we're going to place one in, and then one where we've already left the gap. And then we're going to come across to this one, place 2 on this side. Now it will be a 3 there, but have we got any more 2 blocks that we want to just get out the way first? Basically we want to go up to this level. In fact, it'll probably be easier that I don't do that now, otherwise I'm just going to get everyone quite lost. So the best thing we could do is jump across over to this one. We're going to go up to a 3. So we've got our 3 there, and we'll place that one straight in, and then we're going to go up to a 4, and we're going to place that one over this side. Then we're going to find a block going up until we finish the whole gap like that, so back to a 10, and I think a 10 then fits straight into this one. And then we're going to grab our, let's have a look, we want our 2 and our 1 like we done last time. So we're going to basically, we could do it this way this time instead, but I think we should just try and match up the best we can. So 2 there, and then we're going to come down this end and we're going to place one there, remembering that we've already done that side already. And then we're just going to go up until we find the block that fits into this space here. I'm going to go down one, I'm going to place it in there, and then come down to our single block again to just fill in that gap where it should be a unison block. So basically a corner block, but we haven't got any of them. And then last but not least, a third block of 3 right in there. So now we're free to move on to page 7. And we do actually have a door here. And this is where it could get icky, because so we're going to just use a white door, but if you notice, it's quite a lot higher than what it should be. So we could drop it down to that level. Let's forget the door for a moment, because if we have to, we can always leave the door out. I don't particularly want to be adding layers just yet. So we're going to grab a 2 block. We're going to go right on top of this corner here. So right next to where our door should actually be. One there. And I'm going to place one over this side. And then we're going to go up to a 3. Oh, we seem to have moved rows. So we're going to go grab a 3. Place one there, run across over to the other side and place one there. We're then going to go up to, yeah, that's about right, 2, 4, 6 and 8 block. We're then going to fill in this gap as well with a 10. Then we're going to jump over to a flat tile piece being a 2, and we're going to place that one on this side and one on this side, just like that. Now let me just skip a page before carrying on. Because obviously we're not going to have a moving garage as such, and I'm just wondering if realistically the best thing we can do is chuck in our door. So we're only 1 block off. Let me just head back to our original page here, because obviously for our garage door we're only going to be chucking in the blocks to just make it match up. Now I wanted to include as many blocks as we could, just really to be fair to the build itself. So if we actually go ahead and place this, it is going to put our build off by a layer, but that layer is fine, because all we'll do is we take this one away, we then place our third back in, we take that one away. If I remember correctly, if we took this one away, we would then go back up to our 10. No. So what's changed from 1 block, 2 blocks down? So basically we would be down to this one, and that one would be a 4. So we'd be back on our 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And we change this third one to a 4 to fit in there. So now we're now going to chuck it in our smaller 2 block as if it was the layer before, and we're now going to start putting in our second block there, and then we're going to chuck a 2 block over the other side of the door as well. Then going to make our way up to a 3. So 1 there, 1 over the other side, and then we're just going to scoot up until we find our 8. Oh, going the wrong way. So we've now got our 8 there. we want to scoot up to our 10, put that into the back. Now I'm not sure how it's going to look so different. In fact, we're going to go to our 8 just to follow this on as best we can. I think, really, just to keep this one, we're going to go the opposite to what it would be on the other layer, the layer below. So we're going to put the third one on the inside, and then the second block on the inside, then swapping down to our 1 block. We're then going to place that on each side, just to match the wall on the outside. And then we can go across, we can grab our 1x2 plate, and place that in. Now this is just hoping that this is all going to go literally together the way I'm hoping it will. So as we move on to the garage, and this, I want to have a quick look through my blocks first, just to make sure that, you know, we're not really putting ourselves out to the point where we're going to miss out on being able to do something within the game that actually we could have done. It's just the fact that we didn't know we could. So no, I'm pretty sure that's not there. Let's just, I'm going to have a quick look through the models as well. We know it's not on there. And bearing in mind, I don't have a lot of the models, but it does give you base plates and stuff like that. But I'm guessing it's not going to give you working sort of features apart from the door unless there's an update in the future. So for us, it's a case of just layering up that door. We're going to go back to a red. And then we're just going to grab ourselves a block that can actually cover that without being too big. Let's drop down one, so it's going to be in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I'm guessing we're going to go one higher there. Now, just to make sure that that's actually part of the plan. And funny enough, we dropped this one behind, which is kind of odd. So the first thing I'm thinking we need to do is grab a 1x10 plate like that, 1x8, sorry, lift it up to that layer just inside, and then we're going to go across, pick up our 1x10 and know that it's actually going to fit inside. There we go. And we're going to go 1 block. How very odd. So we're going to go definitely that block as well. And one more again. Which is fine. So we're starting to find our normal shape anyway. It should be a bit higher than the door, which it is 1 higher, but it obviously should have been the 2. We then want to find ourselves our 1x2 again, which is kind of weird because we would put it on this one. Let's change the color before we do, remembering to go back to our medium nugget. Now I don't know how we're gonna do for the inside there. So we've gone 1, 2. Then if we were to place a block, we'd then start putting in some full blocks, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Let me just check this out. So first off, we're going to use a 1 block, and where we placed our 2 parts there, we're then going to come in 1, place a block, because there should be like a grey piece there, but we will do it, but we're not going to obviously use the same block as we should that they've used. We're then going to place in one on this one. Now we're going to have to do this part the same. In fact, actually, just to really do this a little bit different, we're going to place our one on the inside there and the one on the inside there, just to try and match up the shape a little bit better as we're going up. We're then going to find our 2 block, and I'm going to place that right on the end of our single block, just like that. And then on the inside of that, we're going to go over to our flat pieces. Yeah, a 1x8. I'm going to swap that back over to a medium stone grey. I'm going to place that right wedge on top, in between those blocks there. Now stepping over, we are going to do our 2 blocks, and we should have used, while we're on grey, we're going to go to our 1x2 block, and we're just going to place that in on top of our 2 very small slabbed pieces. We can then go back to our medium nugget, pick up our first block first, because we want one over this side as well. Let me just grab my book. And then we just want to fill in the gaps on each side. So it'll just be a 1-piece block, so it's going to be an 8, 2, 8 blocks, just to fit in to these gaps right there. Yeah, so not bad. We still want to be lifting our circle block. So this one, and obviously changing back over to our medium stone grey. And I think we can take that all the way up to that block there. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should be now on our, just done our 7th layer. Let's skip a page. So let's have a look. It's another block that we probably haven't got, but it's not too much of an issue, as it's more only decoration anyway, so there's not too much need for it. I hope they are going to bring all of these blocks into the game though, because it would be so much handier and so much nicer for what you could actually follow. So yeah, I'm really thinking we haven't actually got that. So what we're going to do is go back to our medium stone, or our medium nugget. We're then going to place, oh actually, what colour did we do it? Grey, was it? Yeah, we went with grey. I think realistically we should have been dark stone. Let's go back over to our 2 block a moment. I'm just going to delete that out of there and place it back in. Just because I don't want it to fall into the other one, so I know later on if the blocks do come about. Oh, we need that one to be a little bit lower, so it'll be on that layer. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to go over to our slab or plate, and we're going to hit a 1x2, just place it straight on top there so it still falls within the design of what it should be. We're also going to need our single blocks, and we're literally going to need to put them into our medium nugget. So realistically there guys, we could have sort of skipped that part and really just carried on with the build. I know it is annoying, but I'm trying to make sure we stick to the build plan itself, so we don't end up confused later on or thinking like where has that gone, what's happened. And obviously the doors being a different size, I wasn't really expecting that. I just thought really that they would have kept them all the same size. So now it's just a case of how are we looking. We've got our blocks on our sides. We now want to go up to a 10 so that we're just coming one on top of each there, so it leaves that little gap for a window. We're then going to want to use 4s, and I'm hoping we've actually got these pieces. So we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to be on each edge. And we know if we've got the sizes right now because we're going to miss one, place another one, and then miss one and place another one. So right onto the edge, and then leaving gaps of 1 in the middle. Then we're going to head back, and we don't want these ones, we want that one. So our inverted, what was it? An inverted slope, 1 by 2, and we're going to place them in every gap. So we now end up like that. Moving on to the next page. Okay. So now we're going to go over to our plates. And I'm guessing this is a 1 by 12 this time. That is a guess for now. And we're going to swap back over to black. I'm going to swing it round. And from my understanding, we need a grey slab underneath. Now this is where our extra layer has come into play now. So I think what we're going to need to do is first off go back, find our 1 by 10, sink it down onto the top of there. So it's like that. Then we're going to go back over, we're going to go medium stone grey. Then we're going to go over to our plates. We're going to find a 1 by 10, sorry. Looking at different blocks then, freaking myself out. I'm going to pull it forward the 1 layer. Come on, in you go. And then we're going to lift that up to there. So it's actually sat on the front of our garage. Then we're going to move over to our double blocks, and this is going to be a row of 8, and we're going to place that right in the middle, but obviously we're going to change that over to our medium nugget, place that one on there, and we should have been doing the same at the back. So we're going to go back to our plates, and it's going to be a 2 by 12, and do we need? No, of course not. So we're going to go to black. We're then going to place that one on top there. We're also going to go back to our medium nugget, find our blocks of 2 by 8, place that one straight in the middle. And then we're going to go over to, only on the back one here, we're going to find a row of 4, 1 by 4. I'm going to place it right on the very back piece there. So right in the middle, right on the back. So moving on our page, we're now going to go to the middle. So we want a plate again of 2 by 12. And we want that in black, and we're going to place that right in the middle, so leaving a block either side of where we've just left our hangers coming out. So we've got a hanger, then a block space, then this beam, so right there. Then we're going to go back to our medium nugget, then back to our blocks, and back to a 2 by 8, lift that up, and then we want a 2 by 4, or a 2 by 2, sorry. Place that one right in the middle on that one, and going forward a page, Let's have a quick gander-roo-roo. Trying to work out what they've actually done here. So we're going to go to our grey, medium stone grey, and we're going to be looking at plates, but kind of not plates, and they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 long. So we kind of got an 8. Now I just want to have a quick look to make sure there's no other kind of blocks that are kind of the same but not the same, if you get my impression. Basically we're looking for a completely different block. Yeah, so that's literally the best we're going to be able to do with this one, and we're going to be placing it right on this one. Do we want to come forward one? Yeah, we want to come forward one, so we're going to meet right in the middle like that. I'm going to do the same on each side, so making sure that we meet in the middle, sticking one out on each end. Then we're going to go over to this one. Let's get this part out of the way first. So we're going to go find our circle block, or our round block, and place one in each of the middle parts there. So where our 2x2 is there, we're going to place them right there, and obviously trying to not forget to do our last block there as a drain sort of cover. We're then going to go across, we're going to pick out our black again, and we're going to then go over to our slope pieces. Now I want to make sure we're right on this one. So the only way to work this out is we want to be going to a 3 by the looks of it, and it's got to be 4 wide. So it's got to be so I think it would actually be this one, 3 by 4. Let me just have a quick check through the rest of them. So if we have a look, that should fit on perfectly. And we're just going to do them one after another on both sides, remembering to spin it round across this side. So perfect like that. Let's move on to a page. Although I did forget something, and before we forget it completely, let's just get these out of the way while we're on it. We're going to go all the way across that side. I'm going to spin it round, and we're going to go across this side. Now we're going to need to go back to our medium nugget, sorry. We're just going to want to find our single block, 1 by 1 brick, and we want to place it in the gap that we've left where we've just placed our 2 stone, and then heading back to our black and our 3 by 4 slope. We're then going to carry on like that, spin it around. So now all of our edges are done on our roof. I'm not sure if we're going to need a peak on top of there. So lovely jubbly, that is our garage complete. Now I know it looks a little bit weird with that part there, and I am wondering whether realistically we should change this block for just a regular stone piece, unless we just want to leave them there as effect. Now we could have a quick let me change that to a brighter colour, and dark stone a moment, just so I can really have a look at what's on offer, because if we can fill it with something like maybe a block that's got bricks on the outside, we could then put a radiator grill on it and it would look completely normal. I really don't think we have got the option though, but we do have these, the grill brick. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to change over to a grill brick. And we're just going to take that one out. And then we're going to place it straight where that is. And then we can actually change over that slab on top back to the medium nugget just to finish off. Obviously it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm only really doing it because I don't like the idea of it not being right after spending so much time, because it is gonna take time. That much is becoming quite obvious. And we just want to go back to our 1-2 plate. Where have you just placed a brick? There we go. We want one that side, and we want one the other side when we can actually get there. I am so intrigued as to where that other block has just gone. You're right there. Right, undo, undo, undo. There we go. And now we want to place them in where they should be this time. There we go. Lovely. So anyway guys, that is literally part 1 of the modern house. Now I would love to get some sort of look of a handle on the garage, but I'm not so sure that's completely possible at the moment. So anyway guys, I'm going to leave it there. We're going to, as soon as this part is uploaded, I'm then going to start uploading the base foundations. Now I don't think I'm going to get through all of this build tonight, but I can get a good start on the foundations to give you a good look of how it's going to look, or at least how big it's going to look. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. That is the end of part 1 of building our modern townhouse, and we will be back pretty soon. Thanks for watching guys.